I remember the day I first tried one of the new generative AI tools on a massive project. It was about 18 months ago, and my mistaken belief was this: if AI can write the script, it can replace the writer. And that was my fatal $10,000 mistake. We were just about to launch a new content push, and I was trying to prove a point to myself about efficiency. I fed hours of research and a pile of context docs into this early AI tool and asked it to give some feedback and insights on our business. I thought I was a genius for automating something that would normally take hours. But what was the consequence? This AI generated marketing guide was technically perfect. Grammar was flawless, it had every single key detail you'd want, but when you read it out loud, it was hollow. It lacked our brand's flavor, our specific case studies, nuance details, our fundamental voice. It was generic content from a generic voice. And the work that was created using this brand guide as our guiding document was just as lifeless as the process that created it. A lot of emotional capital and almost $10,000 in sunk production and labor costs that we then had to absorb to fix the whole mess. That paranoia, that FOMO feeling to make sure we're using AI for everything almost killed our vision for Story. And it forced me to confront a fundamental question: what's the true job of a creator? You know, a turning point for me came after staring at this $10,000 mess and reflecting on my experience in product management at a real estate tech company. I'm looking at this hollow, generic content from AI, feeling frustrated, and then ask myself this question: are you treating AI like a creative partner or a photocopier? Because the core skill of any modern creator, whether you're an entrepreneur or an influencer, is management and delegation. If you're managing a human team or an AI, the principles are the same. You must provide a job description, context, and tools to help them succeed. The new perspective is that great creators today don't treat AI as a replacement. They treat it as the most powerful, tireless, and affordable creative partner they've ever had. And so I want to distill this lesson into a mental model that you can apply in your business today. And I call it the creative partnership model. And this is the exact framework that we use at Story to manage both our AI systems and our professional team of human creatives. It transcends AI because it's rooted in the fundamentals of effective delegation, and it has 3 core steps: define the job, provide the context, and equip the partner. So, step 1, define the job. This is your job description. The first failure in any delegation, whether to a person or an AI, is a blurry why. You can't just say, make me content. You have to provide a clear job description. What is the specific outcome this piece of content is supposed to achieve? Who is it for? What action do you want them to take? See, when you're hiring AI, this is your prompt. A lazy manager writes, write an article about X. A leader writes a job description. Assume the role of a B2B marketing expert. Your job is to write a 500-word blog post for an audience of solopreneurs. The goal is to get them to download our free ebook. Start with a hook that addresses their pain point of not having enough time, etc., 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 etc. This is exactly what we do with our human partners, right? You know, at Story, our editors don't just get raw footage, they get a brief that defines the job of that video. This is a top of funnel video. The job's to maximize retention. The job is to get a comment, focus on fast pacing and bold text for key ideas. This clear job description is the difference between a random output and a predictable result. Now, step 2 is you've got to provide the context. This is the style guide, right? This is one of the most important pieces here, and it's where most delegation starts to fall apart, because the job is the what, the context is the who. It's your voice, it's your brand, it's your style, it's your unique perspective, and it's the part that's intuitive to you that makes your content yours. And with AI, you've got to take that intuition and actually give it structure, because without it, you're going to have a generic voice. You see, a good manager trains the AI by feeding it your content, your past articles, your transcripts, your posts, and you instruct it. Write in my style, conversational, authoritative, empathetic. Avoid the corporate jargon. And that's how we've structured things at Story, because when you work with us, you don't just get an editor, you get creative partners who are trained on your context. And that's AI creative partners and that's human creative partners. We understand your brand, we understand your guide, we understand your voice. We do all that work because we got to make sure it feels like you. And that brings me to step 3. You've got to equip the partner. You can't just ask someone to do a job without giving them the right tools. A human partner or an AI partner is only as good as the tools that you give them. So for an AI, the tools are raw materials. It's where capturing your ideas comes in. You equip the AI with access to your website, access to your content, access to your social media posts. those are the tools that it needs to understand the job. And for a human partner, the tools are technical, access to footage, access to a video editing software, access to brand assets. These are places where it's not just reading context, but putting out information. That's why we built our own seamless platform, because you're not going to email 50 gigabyte files and then try to give feedback in a messy Google Doc. Our human and AI partners have to have the tools within a system that lets them excel with the least amount of resistance. These tools don't just give context, but they give access to do the job that you need your team doing. And with AI adding more noise and more competing content for attention, you have to have delegation streamlined. So that's the framework. Define the job, provide the context, and equip the partner. You can apply this to AI or a human creative, whoever is working with you on your content. But this brings us back to the most fundamental principle that's going to future-proof your brand. As creators, we are in the game of getting and holding human attention. We obsess over algorithms, but we forget that every single one of those systems is designed with one purpose: to get better at recommending content to humans. This is the first principle. The more you focus on making high quality, authentic content for humans, the easier it will be for any advanced AI to find and recommend your content to more humans. Quality is and always will be the ultimate strategy. And if we're creating for humans, we have to understand the foundational needs that technology will never change. Think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Once our basic survival is handled, well, what do we crave? Well, we crave community. We crave self-actualization. We want to feel connected, and we want to become better versions of ourselves. This is the demand that will never go away, no matter how disruptive AI is. This is the undelegatable human core. You manage the process so you personally can develop the relationships. AI can't do that. That is your job. Today's creators and tomorrow's creators aren't the ones who are fighting artificial intelligence. They're the ones who manage it to amplify their irreplaceable human voice. Now, we've put together a few resources to help you take the next step, depending on where you are in your journey. If you're just starting to build your content plan and need to define your audience and core message, check out the link in our description to get our free social media strategy kit. It's packed with templates to get your foundational strategy clear. And if you want to see exactly how Story's hybrid of AI and human editors can streamline this whole process, there's another link where we'll give you details about how you can work with us to scale your content production and really amplify the success you're having. Now, if you're ready to get your time back and build a true content machine with a dedicated expert team, we've got a link to schedule a free strategy call with our team. And we'll focus on your unique pain points and how we can help you get to the fastest path to influence. All those are linked in the description. Remember, you are the director, the storyteller, and the brand. AI, they're the PA. They're the production assistant. Now, I'd love for you to think about this and maybe even leave a comment. What are you going to delegate to AI this week? If that's something that a lot of people are looking for help with, I'd love to go into a deep dive of how I've structured some of our context automations to make sure that AI understands your brand in a really deep way. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and then share this video with somebody that needs the help. There's a lot of people who want to master AI. And even if you felt like this was kind of basic, there's a lot of people that need that basic start. But if you're looking for something more advanced, again, let me know in the comments. We watch these comments and we want to make sure that we make the content that's the most effective and helpful for you. So until next time.